Hi everybody, it's Julie, and I want to welcome you to our reveal for our April Junk Journal Challenge, and it is all about that base. So our April All About That Base Junk Journal Challenge, it is building a base and building upon it. So it has 3 parts to this challenge. The deadline will be April 30th, 2021. And we are going to continue the Scrap Buster part of our challenges. And we are going to be including a paper pad. And you are to use a Dearjuliejulie digital in your journal this month's challenge. Okay. You can use the free digital that is in the file section of the Scrap All About It with Dearjuliejulie Facebook group, or any of the themed digital kits in the Dearjuliejulie Etsy shop. It can be one that you got as a VIP. It could be digitals that you got when they were given away, or again, the free one, or from the Etsy shop. Okay, so again, this is a 3-part journal. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to build a journal base. And the second thing is we're going to be making Scrappy book page base embellishments. And for the third part, we're going to decorate or embellish one of each of your finished Scrappy book page elements. So let's go ahead and talk about part 1, the journal base. You're going to make a journal base, a 9x6 or larger, with a soft or a hard cover. Your journal is to have a cover and be bound for the first part of this journal. So you make the journal first, okay? And then you'll post it. So your journal base must have at least 15 plus useful papers. So those are papers that you can actually write on, that have a pocket, that can have something put onto it. So doilies don't count. Noisy paper, unless it has, unless you've done something to it, probably doesn't count. Little tiny papers don't count as a page. Okay? For a total of 60 pages front and back. So 15 pages, 15 papers in a 9x6, 15 of these, you get 1, 2, 3, 4 front and back pages to a page. That's 60 pages, okay? 3 or more pages of your journal need to be from a paper pad, or from your cardstock stash. We are working on using paper pads on this channel through the end of the year at least. So, either a paper pad or a cardstock that all matches from your stash. And then 2 digital pages from the digital kit, okay? And 1 envelope. So 3 or more pages from a paper pad, 2 digital pages, and 1 envelope. So there's 6 of your 15 pages. And then you need 9 more pages. And you can use ledger, graph, calendar, dictionary, date book, wallpaper, guest book, envelopes, doilies, lined paper, coffee dyed paper, avocado dyed paper, copy paper, computer paper, any handmade paper, whatever you want to use for your other pages. Okay, so that is your part 1, your journal. Part 1, your journal base. You're going to make 1 journal, 9x6 or larger, 60 pages front and back or more, and which is 15 pages, side-by-side pages, like this, 15 papers. They can be small, a little smaller and stuff. And again, 3 or more pages from that paper pad, 2 digital pages, and 1 envelope. Okay, part 2 is the Scrappy Collaged book pages. So you're going to take your book pages, So you probably have a book that you've taken apart. And we are going to use these, and we are going to make base elements, okay? You're to make 8 to 12 of each of these elements. Now remember, you're just making the base. You're using the book page and some other items to collage on it, make a neutral base. You saw me use some of them in the journal that we just finished, the 7 Days of Spring. And I'll tell you what, it was nice because I had a day that I didn't feel like creating. I instead of creating, like trying to come up with ideas, I just spent the day and I made tags and all this with those Mary Kay calling card things and book pages, and I collaged things. And then I had them, and all I had to do was decorate them for the journal, and that was really freeing, and it made making the journal go really fast. And so I had this title for a long time, all about the base. I just wasn't sure exactly, and I knew I wanted it to go back to just building a basic journal, like the blank journals that I do. So here we are, and so now part 2 Scrappy Collaged book page, and here is this. I guess they go over to here. Okay, so we are to make 8 to 12 of each of these embellishments using a book page base and Scrappy, use your scraps, collage. These are to be neutral so they can be used in any of your upcoming projects. You will be making 8 to 12 or a 24-inch to 30-inch of each of the elements listed below. Okay? Again, these are to be Scrappy book page bases of these elements, and you're going to embellish them later, and you'll use some of them in upcoming projects. So again, yes, we're spelling out Scrap Buster. So for the S, we're making side border tucks. So those are the fold over kind, like this, that go on the side of a journal. Okay, fold over. So anywhere that you don't want the book paper to be seen, you can go ahead and put writing paper or paint it where you would have writing. Okay. So just so you know that, you can do that because you can use paint. Whoops, skipped right over. C, card patches or cover patches. So that is about this size, and it's something that you're going to be, it's like a cluster, but it's a patch that is now a book page and Scrappy stuff on top of it that you're going to be able to put on a card or put it directly on a cover of a journal. And then you can add your embellishments and your color and things like that on top of that. Okay. R is a roll of collaged book pages. It needs to be 24 to 30 inches long. And that is like the book page collage thing that I made for Roxy's weekly challenge a couple weeks ago. So we'll show you a link to that. A is going to be altered paper clips. So you're going to make 8 to 12 altered paper clip bases. And you can make, instead of just making one kind, maybe make 2 different ones. So you might have small book page one and a large book page base for an altered paper clip. P, pockets that flip up, flip down with a journal space on the flip. So, we'll just use this. So flip up, okay, so flip up, flip down. And if this is book page and it's got writing on it, then go ahead and I would use this. I would use a blank one on this side and have this be lined. That's how I would hope to do it. Find a page that has a blank on one side and lined paper on the other that then I can collage. So you guys, there's all about the base. And that was February 22nd was where I wrote it. But I had this idea a long time. All about that base. That base. That base. Okay, pockets. Okay, B, band snippet, 24-inch to 30-inch, 2 inches wide approximately. So this is a 2-inch wide snippet band that's going to be 24 to 30 inches long that you're going to be able to take and make into bands, whether it be a vertical band or a horizontal band for belly bands, or even a diagonal for in your journal. Okay, so it's going to be a band snippet roll that is 2 inches, approximately 2 inches wide. Okay, and it's 24 to 30 inches long. And let's see, that was the band snippet. Then unusual journal card with flip or fold. So you get to come up with your own invention of a journal card that either flips or folds, and it has its base is book page, it's scrappy, but it's a journaling card that either folds or flips. Okay? And it's unusual. It's something different. And then a snippet roll 3 inches wide, so pocket size, 24 to 30 inches long. Again, it's collaged and scrappy book page. So you can have book pages lined up, and then you can scrap on it like we do the big roll, but you have a small roll and you have smaller pieces. Okay? And then T is tags. They're 3 by 7 inch tags. Book page base, scrappy on top. Yes, you can use your sewing machine on this as well. Okay. E, envelope. So you're going to make an envelope out of your book page bases and scrap on top of them. And then R is ready ruffle roll. So I'm thinking that's probably 1 inch to 1.5 inches of book page ruffle. Just a whole roll of book page ruffle. Ready ruffle. So it's on your book page ruffle on top of paper so that you can put it onto the edge of a page or something. Okay? So that is part 2. You're going to make 8 to 12 of each of those. If it's a roll, you're going to make 24 inches to 30 inches. Don't freak out. It's not a lot because you're making bases. Okay? So you are taking your... Let me find some book pages here. You're taking your book page. Okay? And you're making envelopes. Okay? Making envelopes. And then you're pulling out your scrappy box. Your scrappy box. And you're gluing scrappies on it. Okay? And you might have that. You might have some music paper. It's gonna be it's like neutral. Relatively neutral. Whatever your neutral is. So if you do a lot of the scrapbook or the stuff that is white, then yours can be, white, more white based. So there you go. Okay, so then after you have your bases all made, then you need to take one of each or a 6-inch piece of the roll, or you can go, oh, I'm going to want this for the edge, and so measure your edge and make it that big, and you're going to embellish it. Okay, so you're going to embellish your 11 elements, at least one of each. You can do more using these items. And I know this sounds confusing, but if you break it up, you make your journal, and it's just the base of a journal, and you set that aside. Then you're going to make your embellishments, and so you're going to have your scrap stuff out, your book pages out. You're just going to make them. And then you'll have them done, and you're going to be surprised at how fast you're going to be able to make a journal because you have all that done. And then you're going to be able to embellish your journal and the 11, because there's 11 letters in Scrapbuster. So there's 11 elements, and you're going to embellish them with these items. And you need to use at least one item from each letter. You can use all of them. They can be anywhere in the journal, on anything, but the base needs to have something on it when you go to put it in your journal. So like your paper clip is boring, and you go ahead and you add an image from the digital image. You know, you go ahead and you add some lace. That's going to be good. And so here is the list of the items that you can use to embellish your journal and your elements. This is it. This is all you can use. This is where the challenge comes in. So stamping or stenciling or distressing. Cut apart or scraps from a paper pad. So remember, you have a paper pad that you're using, so you can use the cut aparts. Remember, we had those cool cut aparts for, well, this was a cut apart on a scrapbook page right there. This was a cut apart on a scrapbook page. You can do those little journaling card boxes, things like that, okay? Or just scraps from the paper pad. It could be the branding strips or your leftover pieces. R is recycled item or junk or packaging. A is an almanac or map or a dictionary or napkins. P is paint or polish or punch out or postage or a playing card. B is buttons or bulb pins or beads. U is unique or unusual paper. So that could be like a sparkly paper or a homemade paper. You know, just something that's different. You could emboss some paper, and that could be your unique or unusual paper. The next S is sticker or sequins. T is ticket or tiny tag. So those little tiny tags that I pull out every once in a while and I use, that's a tiny tag. You can make your own. E is eraser or charm. So you, and if you're making a charm out of your eraser, you can have the items that you need to make your eraser. So what would that be? Or a pin. Pin. P-I-N. R is ribbon or lace or trim or fabric remnants or scrap. Okay? So you can use any of those items. You can use items that fall under those items. So a punch out, that means you can use any of your punches because you can punch something out. Okay? So there you go. When you finish each element, add it to the element post in the group. If you get stuck, you can go to the element post and get ideas and inspiration. I'll be posting videos of each element as I make them at the premieres each day at 10:30 a.m. You can watch the replay as many times as you like. You must do each of these things for your journal and add a pic of it to the right category post. You may find some fun gifts in the file section as we go along. During our time building our journals, we would love to see pics of your journals in various stages from shopping to final walkthrough. I'm so excited to be having a virtual watch party exclusive to all participants where we give out prizes and have some fun tutorials. This party will be held on May 19th, 2021 at 1 Pacific Standard Time. This is what we call our VIP, our virtual internet party. And your digital that you earn for finishing your journal, posting it and posting it on time will be in that Facebook group that has all the information about that party. And the group is part of the party. The special VIP group is part of the party as well. Don't forget to tag your journals with the AAATBJJC2021 and tell us what you think of this process, and share this challenge with your friends too. And I shouldn't have to say, but play nice in all forums of this challenge. Encourage each other. Have fun. I cannot wait to see what you create. And please comment read when you've read the instructions for this challenge, and then go start the challenge. So this is actually right here. This is the notes that is the pinned post when you get into the Facebook group for the April All About That Base Junk Journal Challenge. So I'm looking forward to seeing your journals, your plain base journals. I'm looking forward to seeing your base elements, and I am really looking forward to seeing what you do when you embellish those bases. I am looking forward to seeing you be able to maybe finish some of your other challenges or your other journals, things that are on your shelf, because we will have made these bases, and then you can just go in and go, oh, I need to finish this journal, and I need, some tags, I need some paper clips, and I need some bands and some ruffles, and boom, there you go. So, again, I had that day where all I did was do some scrappy collaging, and it sure made making those 3 journals that I made for the 7 days of spring a whole lot faster and easier. So again, I'm so glad you're here. Don't freak out. This is not as scary as it sounds. We're making a journal. We're making some base elements. Then we're going to embellish them. And it's going to make a beautiful journal, and we're going to have a lot of fun on May 19th at the VIP. I hope to see you there. So the group is in the description box down below, and you are welcome to join us in the Facebook group now. Make sure that you answer the questions so that I can let you in. Just like any of the Dear Julie Facebook groups, you have to answer the questions or we can't let you in. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye-bye.